to the Art of Decluttering podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Kirsty Farija from Feels Like Home Professional Organisers.
And I'm Amy Revell from Simply Organised. We can't wait to share with you all our tips and tricks to help you declutter and keep your home and family organised.
If you'd like to engage with the podcast further, you can find us at the Art of Decluttering on Facebook.
Let's get started. You've joined us for episode 8 of The Art of Decluttering. Today we'll be talking about decluttering and organising your entrance or mudroom. I'm super excited about this session, Kirsty, because I think mudrooms are like the ultimate luxury in a house.
Yes, totally. So I really don't want our listeners to think that they all need a mudroom before they can listen to this.
No, but what you do need is to think about the function of a mudroom and integrate that into your home.
Yes, exactly.
So the function of it. So for those of you who don't know the original kind of language around a mudroom, it's something that in Northern America and in Europe is quite common, where in really cold, wet and snowy climates, they would have a room where you'd come in and you would kind of leave your mud. You'd take off your boots, you'd take off your big jacket, and you'd leave everything in that room to dry out and drip off, and then you'd enter the home without kind of leaving a puddle of mud behind you.
Yes, exactly.
It makes complete sense. And in Australia, obviously, we're never coming in full of mud and snow and anything like that.
Unless you live in Tasmania or the highlands of New South Wales and Victoria.
Possibly. Possibly not.
Or unless you've gone to soccer on a Saturday morning and it's really muddy.
That's true.
So we do have mud.
Good call. Good call. We do have mud.
Snow.
We just don't have much snow.
Yeah.
So the purpose is that you would kind of have like that initial place in your home where you dump everything.
Yes. So commonly known as the dumping ground.
The dumping ground.
And we want to eliminate the idea of the pure dump where you dump and set and forget.
That's right. Big piles at the back door of shoes and jackets all on top of each other.
Yeah, and bags and muddy boots. As Amy said, we do want to think about how we can incorporate the idea of having a place to put everything.
Yes.
And know where things are as soon as you walk in the door. And so the kids can walk in the house and know this isn't my expectation. I'm to hang up my bag or put my bag in the cubby hole. Mum's going to put her bag where she needs to. Mum's going to put her keys where she needs to. Mum's going to put her wallet or purse or phone where she needs to, and so on and so forth. It's
like the time saver in a home. Like you're never going to lose your keys if they're always in the same spot.
I have never lost my keys.
Me neither. Sometimes in my handbag I struggle to find them. But I've literally never lost them in the house. I've never lost my phone. I've never lost my wallet.
No.
And my children have never lost anything either. No. We don't even lose sunglasses. We have a pair of sunglasses each, not 6, as some people do. Yes. 1 pair, because I know where they are. Yes. They're in my mudroom.
Yes. You do have a mudroom of sorts.
We do. So the home that we've bought, I think we've mentioned before, was built in about the 1950s. And we think the front room used to be a veranda that at some point somebody has enclosed. And so it's this really odd-shaped room, actually. It's got no heating or cooling. It's maybe, I'm just having a look at it now, maybe 2 or 3 meters wide and quite long. And so the door is right in the middle of it. So it's a really dysfunctional space. So when we moved in, we decided that we would make somewhat of a mudroom out of it. And I used the IKEA Kallax cube storage, and I made like this really cool custom fit, put everything in a little area, and that's my mudroom.
I'll take photos for you today while I'm here, and we can put it in the show notes.
You can have the photos. But it's a really functional space for us. So what have you got, Kirsty?
As I've mentioned in previous episodes, we have a little coat cupboard that isn't far from our garage entry, and that's where all our handbags go. We do things a bit differently to you. We don't have everything in the one space,
right?
But we have a space for everything, yes, which is what is essential.
That's the purpose,
and that's, you listeners can interpret this to reinvent this in your own home.
Correct.
You do not have to have one room that holds all of this. You just need to have an identifiable space for all of your products that you want to leave the house with. So getting back to that, all of our shoes get taken off at the garage door.
I do like that.
Yeah, and we have a shoe rack just inside the garage.
Right, so it's in the garage before you walk in the door to go into your home.
Yes, so when we open the garage door into the home, the kids sit on the step and take off their shoes.
Yeah.
Which is great until you need to hurry up and get inside and you have to climb
over them.
An 8-year-old. It doesn't work so well. Our shoes are all just right next to the door. And then, as I've mentioned, we have cubby holes in our coat cupboard where all our bags go. And then we have a little basket on top of our microwave, which is where our keys go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then my phone nearly always has to go on charge, which is also next to the microwave.
And that's in your walk-in pantry, isn't it? So you've got that functional space in there.
Yeah. And also in our walk-in pantry, we have our sunscreen.
Ah.
So that's where it lives.
Yeah.
So we just take it all from there. In our coat cupboard, on top of our cubby holes, we've got a basket full of hats.
Oh, that's excellent.
And the other thing, I know we often talk about only having one place for something, but we do have 2 places for hats because we have hooks in our garage on top of the shoe rack. We've got hooks for jackets and hats and helmets.
That's an excellent idea.
Yes. So the helmets live on top because our bikes are right there.
Oh, yes.
And then also our sun hats and rain jackets. Our garage is essentially our mudroom.
Yeah, it's exactly the mudroom.
Because we can chuck our wet dripping jackets and just hang them on the hook. So it is an IKEA product. You'll be very proud of me.
I'm so proud of you,
Amy.
Kirsty.
It's those big double...
The big double hooks.
Yes, that's where we keep our hats. And
so I think that's the beauty of having the garage. So we don't even have a carport.
Yeah.
We've literally got no space outside of our 4 walls that anything can be stored.
Yes.
And so we use that little mudroom. I was saying to Kirsty just before we started recording is that in our mudroom we keep sunscreen and we keep our sunglasses and we keep our umbrellas.
Yes.
So regardless of the weather, as the children, so that's our, coming and going from the house. So regardless of what is needed, everything's there. They can grab it, put it on. Our bike helmets are there as well in a container. And what I really like is we've made ours kind of just look like a storage unit, and it's not a storage unit as in a big shed, but storage containers. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there are helmets at our front door. It just looks like there's a lovely red container at our front door that has helmets in it.
Yes, it's not quite at your front door.
No, it's probably 2 metres away from our front door.
Yeah.
You don't walk into it.
Yeah, you don't go, ooh, hello, red basket.
No, you do not.
You must be holding helmets.
We keep hooks right next to our door for our keys. So that coming and going, we put our keys straight away. So if you haven't got somewhere to store your car keys, you can go as simple as what Kirsty was saying, and that's just putting a basket somewhere near the door or on top of something that you know where it is, and just make sure they always go in there. And for us, that's just hanging them up near the door.
Yes, and that's a great idea. And hooks are really great, and a small basket that can only really hold keys is a great idea. I do not love hall stands and hall tables.
Hall stands are horrible.
I'm not a fan of them for my clients because they attracts clutter.
Yes.
So people come in and they just dump everything there and actually never go back to it.
Never, ever, ever.
So I went to a client's last night and they had loads of mail that they'd actually processed the mail. Like they knew what was in the mail. They hadn't opened it, but they knew they were bank statements. So they put them where they keep their bank statements.
Oh,
but I was like, no, open the mail before you even walk in the door.
Yes.
And then you can put you can put your envelopes and the junk that comes in with your bank statements.
Correct.
Straight in the recycle bin before you even walk in the door.
Open every envelope that comes through your door immediately.
Yes.
So if nothing else, you can recycle the envelope.
Yes. And you've halfway processed whatever has come in the mail.
Yeah, that's right.
And if it's junk mail, it can go straight in the bin.
Straight in the recycling for you.
Yes, exactly. I really am not a huge fan of hall stands.
Yeah.
But if you do have a hall stand, I would suggest having a small container on it.
Yes.
So that you put the keys in there. Or, a container that might be big enough to house your sunglasses and your keys and your wallet.
What do you do? Do you have somewhere in your house that you have loose change? Because we have that in our mudroom. So there's a tiny little container, and my husband and I don't like coins. So whenever we come in, where we keep our wallets is right next to the loose change box, which is in a drawer. And we just open that up, tip our wallets out, and the kids know on Saturdays when we go to basketball, they grab their $8 for their game straight from our loose change box.
Yes, so my little basket that I keep the keys is also where we chuck our loose change.
Excellent.
And that's where the kids go to if they want canteen money.
Yeah.
Or bank money.
It feels like free money.
Yes, it does.
I mean, not everyone has the luxury of feeling like coins are free money, but I do find that by tipping them out, they're just there. We're going to spend the $8 or the $16 every week at basketball anyway. So by having it in coins, it just kind of clears that out and then reduces the clutter in my wallet. So I want to tell you a little bit of a trick that I've discovered and have since implemented in probably dozens of people's homes, and that's what we call the lost and found box.
Please share.
So for us, it's a box near our front door. And I don't know if your friends are anything like ours, but when you turn up to people's houses, there's jumpers and someone's bringing their favourite footy card, and at the moment it's a fidget spinner has to go with them everywhere, hats, shoes, socks, toys, and almost inevitably, when my friends leave, we find something that they've left behind. And so rather than just putting it on the bench or somewhere that we have to remember to give it back to them, we have a box designated for other people's stuff at our front door. It's our lost and found box. So then whenever somebody comes over to my house, we're in the habit of, as they're leaving and we say goodbye, we check the box. And my family now just check it on their own. So my parents will come over for dinner, and on the way out, they check the lost and found box because there might be a casserole dish of some food we brought home or a tea towel that we borrowed.
It's a great idea.
And so my sister and my parents now just check the lost and found box. It's been such a lifesaver. We even put in there now our library books to return.
Great.
Because they're not ours. And once they've been read, they go in there. And then when it's time to return our library books, they're right there, ready for us, grab them, and we go.
Excellent. What a great idea.
So it doesn't have to be huge, but it is just that a container that can fit in things like a casserole dish that you can return when you next see that person.
Yeah, or you can grab it as you're walking out to get in your car.
Correct.
Because you know you're going to your mum and dad's.
Yeah, or you're driving past someone's house.
Yes.
I'll often grab something and return it as I drive past.
Yes. So we don't do that. That's a great idea. Maybe our little cubby at the bottom, that's a donation cubby, can also be our lost and found
Yes, we
cubby.
put our donations in there too.
Yeah, because what we do and what I encourage my clients, like when I'm over at my clients and they're like, oh, that belongs to mum. I'm like, when are you going to see your mum? Oh, I'm going to see her this afternoon. Right, go straight out to the car and put it in your car. And so I do that with all of my clients. I'm like, tell me when you're going to see this person. If this does not belong in your house, when are you going to see it?
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it? Right, you're going to see them this afternoon at school pickup. Put it in your car. Put it beside you in your car so you don't put it in your boot because you won't look in your boot.
Or send them a text message and say, I have your scarf you left at my house. Remind me at school pickup to give it to you.
Yes, yes. And so I never put anything in my boot because I only go to my boot at the end of school pickup.
That's right.
When I've walked away from my friends and walked the 500 metres that I can't be bothered walking back to them because I'm the laziest person in the world.
You're so not.
So am.
I'll have to show you my boot before we finish recording today.
Yes.
Because my boot is full of IKEA stock. My children have never, ever in their lives put their school bags in the boot of my car.
My kids do put their bag in the boot, and that's when I'll see that scarf that I was meant to give to my girlfriend who I just said goodbye to. But I also say to my kids, if their friends have left something, I'm like, right, go put it in your school bag.
Absolutely.
You're going to go see them tomorrow.
Yes.
You put it on top of your lunch.
Yep.
So that when you go and get your lunch. So I'm all about getting things out of my house as quickly as possible.
And returning them to where they belong.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for your ideas about mudrooms, Amy. I can't wait to talk about artwork next week. Is that
kids' artwork. We're going to have so many ideas for you next week. So many ideas about how to keep, store, curate, deal with the emotional side of kids' artwork.
Yes, yes. Oh, fun and games. Well, thank you for listening, everybody, and we can't wait to hang out with you again in your ears next week.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you've learned something awesome today, do a girlfriend a favour and share this episode so she too can learn the art of decluttering.
You can find me, Amy, over at simplyorganised.net or on Facebook as simplyorganisedpo.
You can find me, Kirsty, over at feelslikehome.net.au or on Facebook as feelslikehomepO. Don't forget, you can see the show notes in your podcast app, so if there's anything you want more information on, then check it out there. If you love what you hear, we would really appreciate you leaving a review on iTunes, and you can always subscribe to us.
We hope you've enjoyed listening and that you've learned some great tips and tricks to help you declutter and keep your home organised. We hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy the freedom.